Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. Tonight, I am covering paranormal news. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me at the podcast page. And that is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions, or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. There are a few different ways you can listen to the show. Of course, there's the Discord stream, and which is what I'm doing right now. And then there's the podcast and YouTube feeds. And then every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, you can find 2 episodes of the show on the Troubled Minds radio network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And that is, as of right now, 7 nights a week. So, and that's right before either a live episode of Troubled Minds Radio or a replay on the days that there is no live show. So, and if you'd like to support the show, there's a few different ways to do that. First of all, there is just sharing the show with others and reviewing it and rating it on your podcast platform of choice. You can also, if you're interested in the paranormal and you'd like something to read, I have that taken care of as well. Both fiction and nonfiction books over on Amazon. And then there are also links to ways to just donate to the podcast. And those can all be found in every episode description. So there's always expenses in doing this show when it comes to research and equipment. And so any help is appreciated. It's never expected, but definitely appreciated whenever anyone is able to help. So I think that covers everything. I have 5 articles. We'll see how many we get through today. And go from there. So, let me see here. Also, just a reminder, the Wednesday night show will not have a stream, but it will come out on Thursday morning at some point. So, it's going to be a special roundtable show. And, yeah, okay, I think that takes care of everything there. Let me get to the stories here. Let's see here. So these first couple are left over from the last news show. This first one says, bizarre. Woman went on a walk alone in a forest, captured paranormal activity. And so this apparently took place in Argentina. And talks about the debate over whether ghosts exist or not. But then it mentions videos. And apparently this happened to a TikTok star, it says. Not sure how you say the name for sure. Jimena? Not sure. Jimena. But apparently she was walking through a jungle or forest. And on her camera, she got an image and also had a sense that she was not alone. And so she got this image on her phone of a figure in a not black. Well, it does say shadow-like appearance. But it had the shadow-like appearance, but apparently it had like a red hood. And it was let me see here. Red hoodie, I'm sorry. So, and it was standing behind her. So, mentions where did the shadow come from and where did it disappear? The witness does not know. But after a moment, there was no one there when she looked back. So, but the and the picture that she took on her phone, she was able to see an image of this figure. even though she was all alone in the jungle there in Argentina. So these stories are always, they take me two different directions in terms of, I mean, we know that the paranormal is popular these days, but so there's always a chance of someone sort of having something faked, but I also don't think we should ever completely write off the possibility of these things actually happening to people, and even people that are popular online. So, neat story there, and the images in the article, I believe. So, I always like hearing about these experiences people have. So, seems like in the woods there it'd be harder for someone to just sneak off without making it some kind of sound, but maybe I'm wrong. Either way, the fact that the witness didn't see anything except through her phone, that is always a amazing thing when that happens. So, definitely don't blame them for being surprised. But moving on to the next article here. And I forgot to say who that last article was from. Let me just go back. I can tell you all in a moment. Of course, I'll share all these links on the episode description. This is from News 18. Let me see here. Yeah, it's just news18.com. There we go. And sorry about the noises. Logan, my cat, has decided to be jumping around, walking around in back of my computer. So that's always fun. Moving on to the next article here. Let's see here. So this is from Q985online.com. The title says, one of Illinois' most haunted places wants you to come stay overnight. And this is talking about Ashmore Estates, which I don't think I've ever heard of this one before. But it says the article here says it's often considered one of the most haunted place in all of Illinois. And apparently they are now getting into or at least they're into the paranormal tourism thing. So this is located in Ashmore, Illinois. It says that it has a long history full of creepy stories, terrible living conditions, which of course leads to the stories, I'm sure, and paranormal experiences. It was built in 1916, so it's over 100 years old. It served as a county poorhouse before it was changed into a psychiatric facility in the mid-1950s. That's two kinds of places where you, that could collect some energy there. Let's see here. So, this says that as far as history goes, there are, again, it's these two kinds of places, the poorhouse and then the facility. Apparently, though, there's an apparition of a little girl who passed in a fire at the estates and continues to apparently roam around the property. It says that fire wasn't the only thing that tried to destroy the place. Apparently there was a storm that blew the roof off of it and destroyed the support cables back in January of 2013. But it has been fixed since then. I'm guessing maybe that's why there was a break. The article has a lot of pictures of the place. It mentions that it's been the site of many paranormal investigations and tours throughout the years. As far as reports there's been sightings of odd lights, sounds, and other reports of sounds, shadows seen moving around, shadow figures appearing and disappearing. So, sounds like an active place. So, they have a video in there from the Travel Channel, of course. And it goes into details on how to visit. So, and then it does go into another article below that. So, You don't have to read all the way down to the bottom of the page. But I'll leave that for the rest of you all to look at, especially those images on your own. And we'll move on to the next article here. This next article, so it's from ancient-origins.net. I don't cover ancient civilizations a lot, unless it's a case where there's some debate over whether a civilization existed or how it existed. That is then the ideas about the place are then changed by based on recent discoveries. I always find that interesting. Whether it's a couple of the other articles that I found on this location use the word mythic civilization in the title, so it sounds like there's a lot of basically just uncertainty regarding this place that is going to be, I'll talk about in this article here. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into it because I am no archaeology or history expert. But again, this is from ancient-origins.net. The title says 2,500-year-old Tartessian, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, anthropomorphic reliefs revolutionize thinking on ancient culture. And this takes place, this is talking about a place in Spain. There's a lot of words in here I'm not going to try to say because even though I am half Mexican, I do not know Spanish. So this is even the article here mentions that this is apparently a mythical pre-Roman civilization that and it existed between the 8th and 4th centuries BC. So apparently, for a long time, the beliefs it was believed that the culture there worshipped a lot of sort of animal and floral figures, or had a lot of those in their sort of culture, their religious beliefs and everything. But these reliefs are more. They appear to be they appear to basically be human, be the faces of people. So, and not all of them are in complete condition, but this is it's always amazing when these kinds of finds are brought up that change the way people today think of civilization in the past. So, I don't have a ton to talk about here. Again, this is way out of my depth of understanding, but I always wonder about other parts of the world when articles like this come up that talk about things that are found that change the perception of a culture or a civilization, or even confirm or bring up new ideas and maybe make it a little bit less mythical. And that to me is an amazing thing, because who knows what else people will find over time that will maybe prove that certain places in mythology, and maybe even figures and or other beings, maybe they'll be someday proven to have existed in some form or another. So that's all I wanted to bring up with that article. It's a good size article. You all can check it out, read it all for yourselves, and go from there. So I have 2 more articles here to go through today. And let me check on something here. Okay, all right. And so yeah, I have 2 more articles. This next one is about a sighting of some kind of an orb, the article says, but I'll go over it here in a second. It's from mirror.co.uk. It says UFO hunter spots orb sheltering from a storm on home security footage. So this is apparently caught on again, security footage, and it appears to be hovering beneath the porch or the roof as there is a storm going on outside. Now, the odd thing about this, when I watched the video, is it sort of looks fake to me, but being legally blind, I also don't know that I'm really one to be judging how it looks. The only thing I can think of is maybe it's some kind of it's because it's so close to the camera that it looks a lot bigger than it really is. I don't know, but I think it's important whenever these sort of articles show up to look into these things, because I do believe there are real things that are caught on camera. It's just a matter of trying to figure out which what footage is maybe catching something paranormal and what footage is catching things that are mistaken for that. Again, not even saying that it's a hoax. It's just more of a. There are a lot of things, I think, a lot of logical explanations for things that can be found on footage. So, I've heard of camera malfunctions, and I mean, if it's storming outside, then it makes me wonder about something maybe caught in the air. But I don't know. But I always like to share these articles about these sightings and this footage that is caught. It also brings up the recent hearings over in Congress regarding UFOs, which, if you're interested in that, I would recommend, not because I was on it, but there was a show that I did earlier in the week over with Michael Strange on Troubled Minds Radio on the day of the hearing. And that was a lot of fun to do that show. A lot of great calls in that show as well. So definitely check that show out for more on that. I think basically everything that I would say about that hearing was already brought up in that show. So I don't really need to go into that much more. Except there was one point where I think it was Kirkpatrick mentioned that sort of made a joke, or picked on in a way, the whole sort of paranormal social media community, and didn't care for that. But excuse me, that's just me, and that's not really, doesn't really matter in the larger scheme of things. So I won't. I don't need to rant on that. But moving on to the last article here. This is about a place I've heard a lot about, but I haven't actually looked into a lot yet. And this is from, let me get back to the article here. Cultura Collectiva. Not sure how you say that exactly. Excuse me. But the title says Skinwalker Ranch, the most haunted place in the world. Again, I always sort of cringe a little bit at these reports of these places being the most haunted anywhere, whether it's a city or state or country or world. Because I think there's paranormal activity going on at just a matter of basically the time and place, but I think there's always something going on somewhere. But anyway, the article mentions that there are a lot of theories as to what actually happens at the ranch, ranging from the paranormal to more skeptical theories. Mentions that the ranch is located in Utah, and there have been all kinds of sightings there reported over the years, from UFOs to ghosts to mysterious orbs, Bigfoot, and then creatures that give the ranch their name, skinwalkers. So it goes into the history of the place, and I've been watching so far, as far as the popular culture goes, the way it's sort of increased in popularity over the years due to, I think, books and television. Um, and but yeah, it's some of the other odd things reported there, especially back in the beginning, are in addition to the orbs and everything else, are creatures resembling giant wolves. There's also been these wolves that are practically immune to bullets. It says people also heard the sounds of voices and machinery that they couldn't explain. And so yeah, there's a lot that has been talked about in this location. Goes into the explanations, possible explanations here regarding this activity. And it says that let's see here. The apparently when people when the first family that moved in there, there's a lot of calling, basically people calling a hoax on the whole thing. But it also mentions that the family that moved there, the Shermans, as what they're known as, went through a lot of economic difficulties after the loss of their livestock, and they eventually moved out. So, and there were also investigations there, scientific investigations there that after they moved out, that supported what they said, apparently. So, but yeah, I do think that I'm not so crazy about the modern day reality shows and books that are based on the location. I do think some of that, it's possible it could be exaggerated, but I don't know for sure. I haven't actually watched the show now in quite a while, just because I'm not as interested in reality shows, which is what it seems like to me. I could be wrong. So, but still, I'm always interested in the stories from people that have experiences anywhere, including this location. So maybe it's something I'll have to do a show on at some point. Do some research into that and see what I find. But anyway, so that was just that article there. I think that's the last of the articles I have for today. I will be doing a series of shows over time on sort of famous paranormal hotspots. I still need to get back to redoing that show on the Myrtles Plantation. I'll do a show on the house in Amityville as well. And maybe I will add Skinwalker Ranch to that list. We'll see. Seems like some good possibilities there, good options. Because I think, if nothing else, those places are pretty well known today, in definitely within the paranormal world, and even in some cases outside of that, in just popular culture. And so I think it's important to cover those, just so that I have shows where I sort of talk about what I find, and then just give my thoughts, just so that that's out there. And so anyway, I think that'll do it for today. Thank you all for listening and for being here. And I'll be back tomorrow to share more true paranormal stories from the web on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care, everyone.